Yes, some big news. India is on the verge of a historic 5G rollout, and in the process, the ghosts of 2G scam and the mess seem to have been buried. And now the country's biggest private telecom player, Airtel, has lavished praise on the super efficient spectrum allocation process. Airtel founder Sunil Mittal has been awestruck with the ease of doing business in the country. The Airtel boss has said that he's not seen such speed within the Department of Telecom in his at least 20-year-long career. And in the latest on the 5G front, the IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw has handed out spectrum allocation letter to 5G players. The minister has told 5G service providers to prepare quick rollouts. The auction for fifth generation, the 5G telecom spectrum, has generated revenue of over a whopping 1,50,173 crores compared to the 2G rollout scandal where Supreme Court had scrapped the dubious allocation. Siddharth Zarabi, Business Today, joining us for a little more on this. Siddharth, Airtel chief really praising ease of doing business and saying how smooth this has been, the entire process of rolling out 5G. Give us a little more.
Well, very clearly, this is an honest comment on how things have changed as far as spectrum is concerned. And you were very right in saying that the ghosts of the past, including the muddled spectrum allocations, which led to all matter of controversies, have been buried. I've covered telecom starting in 1997. And I know firsthand that what Mr. Sunil Mittal says is absolutely correct. And in fact, it's not just Bharti Airtel which has received the spectrum within hours, as Mr. Mittal put it. All the four bidders, Reliance Jio, Vodafone Idea and Adani Data Networks, have got spectrum. And why is this significant? I remember in previous allocation rounds over the years, a minimum of a month would be taken because people from the companies which had paid money to the government would run around with files in multiple Xerox copies from one floor to another in Sanchar Bhavan, which is the DOT headquarters of Ashoka Road, and would have to virtually plead. And that's the kind of change that has happened. It obviously does away with all manner of rent seeking. There's a lot of technology and IT that has been put in place. But for an India which had spent a lot of time over the spectrum allocation controversies, this is a watershed moment, not just perhaps for telecom, but all other sectors where government still has a role to play in asset allocation, natural resource allocation. Hopefully we will see the same for many other things, including coal mining, for example, on which our power needs are very, very highly dependent.
Right. So that at this point, how soon will we see 5G rolling out?
That's a very good point. If the time for the handover of spectrum has been shrunk to just a matter of a few hours, then we can conceivably expect that the process of the first commercial signals for 5G being made available to subscribers will start. Bharti Airtel has put out a detailed roadmap. Jio has given indications of what it intends to do. So has Vodafone Idea. Adani Data is not a public service provider. They have purchased spectrum only for their internal corporate use. So all of these three players, and apart from Bharat Sanchar MTNL, which is the Sarkari sort of telecom complex, all of these three companies are at various stages of rollout. Remember, they had started preparing for 5G much in advance of the auction. It's not as if they are now going to start the basic work, the network planning, the design, the equipment, a lot of that, multiple different pieces in a jigsaw puzzle, which in some ways is a telecom network, are at advanced stages of rollout. So in some ways there will be a race. Who will make that first commercial 5G call? Which will be that network? And I'm going to say that, let me put out a sort of guess in some ways here. There will be a race. And I definitely expect Telecom Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw and one of the industry guys to get on a call like as happened in the mid-90s when the first commercial mobile phone call was put out. So could this happen by Diwali? Can we see the first murmurs? We don't know, but definitely in a matter of months, even before 2023, you will see some work. And within 23, by the same time next year, 5G will be the talk of town.
Absolutely. So that whoever gets it, we as users are really eager to get on to using 5G. Thank you very much for joining us on that.